If after a rotation, the figure looks the same, we say it maps onto itself. I took that triangle, I spun it, it didn't go all the way around, but it still looked the same as the original. Here's what I want to do. I want to put a dot there, 2 dots there, a little curve mark over there. Add that into your drawing. If I take this triangle and spin it once, if I take this triangle and spin it once, will the dot still be on the top, the single dot?
Yeah.
Chase, where's the single dot going to be? Bottom right. If you take this and spin it once, I think it's now going to look like this. What's on the bottom left? The arc mark, or 2 dots?
2 dots.
2 dots, those are ending up over there. And on the top, the curve. What if you do it again? See if you can draw in where those different symbols end up after your second spin. Elena, what do you think's on the top? 1 dot, 2 dots, or the curve? 2 dots, sure. They were down here. They're going to end up top. And Tyler, what's over here? Yeah, the little half circle curve marking. And over here, 1 dot. Do it again. One last time. Oh, and that's going to be a big deal, actually. Will, can you say that again louder?
Goes back to normal.
Oh, that was louder, thank you. Oh my gosh, I need to be careful what I say to you. Sure, it goes back to normal. 1 dot on the top, 2 down there, over there. What was that? Exactly. Now, here's the math behind this. I feel like some of you have already made this comment. If we spin completely all the way around, 360 degrees. I want to try to write a few notes over here. To spin completely around, it's 360 degrees. What I want to figure out is how many degrees in each of these terms. How many degrees to turn this to this, this to this? Well, here's the deal. In a triangle, how many turns will it take you to get back to the original? I turned it? I turned it. I turned it. Hold on to that. How many times did I turn this triangle to make it go back to the original? 3 times. I see there's 4 triangles here, but here's 1 turn. Here's another turn. Here's another turn. It took 3 turns to go all the way back, which kind of makes some sense because it's a triangle. If I want to figure out the number of degrees in each turn, I can just divide 360 by 3. In a triangle, 1 turn is 360 divided by 3. Use your calculator to get that. Let's figure out the number of degrees in 1 turn. Not 180. I think it's going to be 120. 120 degrees. 360 divided by 3. I want to make a little chart before I start trying to figure out how to answer these questions that are showing up here. Number of turns. Whoops, should have made that bigger. Degrees. And we just figured out that 1 turn is 120 degrees. If one turn's 120 degrees, how would you figure out two turns? Not divide, but something else. Multiply by 2. The phone needs to go away, Ilya. Put the phone away and keep it away. I'm going to if one turn is 120, two turns are going to be 120 times 2. 240. 240 degrees. Two turns are going to be 240 degrees. And I'm not even going to have to go to 3 turns, because 3 turns would be what if we did it? 360. That's all the way around, and that's not actually going to be helpful for us. These are the only two that are going to matter. This will be different if it's not a triangle, and we'll deal with other shapes after we come back from a math break. But there are 2 questions I can ask you to do. I can ask you where a certain letter will end up after a particular rotation. And I can also ask you to give me particular rotations. We'll get there in a moment. Letter A. I want to find the image of B after a 120 degree rotation clockwise. First of all, 120 degrees according to the chart is how many turns? 1. Here's B. I want to go 1 turn clockwise. Now, does that mean going in this direction or in that direction? Is clockwise towards the C or towards the A? Towards the C. Okay, I want to go 1 turn towards the C. That's going to put me where letter C was. The answer to this question is C. What letter is in the place of a 120 degree rotation after B? I'm making 1 turn. 1 turn will put that B right over here where the C is. This is going to take some getting used to. By the time we leave, we'll be okay, as long as we get to enough examples. The next one. I want to know where C is after a 240 degree rotation counterclockwise. Here's C. First of all, how many turns in 240 degrees? 2, because we've got that in the chart. You know what? I should probably write that. So hold on 1 moment. Next thing I want to do is clockwise towards A. Sorry, not clockwise. I want to go counterclockwise. Is counterclockwise towards A or towards B? Towards B. Okay. And how many times am I going to do this? Shahryar, do you know where that's going to end up? 1? 2? My answer is A. That's what we're doing with these problems. Sarah, you look a little confused. Do you have a question for me? Next, there are 2 types of questions we should be able to do. Questions like those, and again, we'll do many more of those when we get back from our math break. But also questions like C and D that ask us, can you give me the direction to turn one letter into something else? Here's the deal. I want B to end up where A is. I think I could do 1 turn counterclockwise. Let me write that down. I could do 1 turn, and you know what? I want to be lazy. I don't want to write out counterclockwise. I'm going to abbreviate it as CCW. That means counterclockwise. I'm not totally done, though. There's actually another answer. I went 1 time counterclockwise. It turned B into A. How many turns could you go if you go clockwise for B to become A? Kiro. One more time? Yes, hold on to that for 2 seconds. First of all, how many turns would it be? 2 turns clockwise. I could go 1 turn counterclockwise or 2 turns clockwise. However, I actually don't want answers that look like that, and Kiro was a step ahead of me. This is going to help me do things, but when we give answers, we want them in terms of degrees. 1 turn, we said, was how many degrees? It's in the chart. 120. I can say 120 degree rotation counterclockwise. 2 turns is how many degrees? 240, says it in the chart. I find it easiest to start these by talking about number of turns, but then we have to write our answers in terms of degrees. If you feel like you can go straight to degrees, fine. I just think the turns helps a little bit. 1 more together, then math break, and then we'll do other shapes when we get back. Next, I want C to end up where A is. If you're going clockwise, if you're going in this direction, Tyler, how many turns will it take for C to end up where the A is? One. I'm going to say one turn clockwise. Chase, what about if we went the other way? Two turns counterclockwise. I'd like you to take a moment and write those answers now in terms of degrees. See if you can give the degree answers. Say that again. Fill those in there and just make sure you're putting the CW and CCW afterwards. I think 120 degrees clockwise and 240 degrees counterclockwise. Maybe. We're going to do more shapes when we get back. And I think we'll start getting more kind of into how this is working with a few more examples later. We are going to go around once, especially because it's like a little warm outside. It's actually cooler in here than it is outside, at least according to what my phone says the temperature is outside right now. We're going to grab hand sanitizer. We're going to head out. We are going one time around. We are doing a 360-degree rotation clockwise, and that is it. Can we do 270? Sure. We won't go all the way around. Okay.